So let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about the possibility of all life on Earth, including yours, going extinct? You may wake up one day that seemingly looks like any other, make yourself a nice cup of coffee before you go on and carry out with your day. But at that moment, you check your phone only to realize that your news feed is buried with doomsday information. Friends and family are texting you and everybody seems confused until the official statements from around the world start to confirm the worst case scenario. The world is going to end. Greetings everyone, my name is Nikola Tomic, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the possibility of the end of the world. Now, before we take a magical telescope and look into the future, we have to go back through time and see what our ancestors thought about this possibility. See, although doomsday scenario got popularized in recent decades through literature and various movies and shows, this concept was known to us from the very beginnings of our species. In the early days of humanity, our ancestors had to deal with the unpredictability of Mother Nature, and anything from floods, wildfires, volcano eruptions, or earthquakes can mean almost certain end to many lives and entire communities. You may argue that we still have to deal with these events to this day, and that is true. However, due to the advancements in science, we're able to understand and even predict some of those so we can better prepare ourselves and protect our loved ones. No such a thing, however, was possible in the old days, so you can understand why every major disaster could be seen as the end of the world, or at least the world that you're familiar with. Now, although many different societies of early humanity probably had an idea of such an event happening, it wasn't until the rise of religion that the notion of the entire world being destroyed got its shape and made its way into the broader folklore. Although they developed at different times and different places in the world, almost every religion known to us had some sort of an event that speaks about the end. What they often differ in is the interpretation of this prophecy, whether it is the literal destruction of the world or is it simply being a new cycle. In Christianity, for example, there is a book of Revelation, which can be interpreted as the book that speaks about the end of the world or simply revelation of something holy. Many other religions often speak about the final battle between good and evil that will mark the end of everything that we know. Now let's put religion aside for a moment and talk about what we know for sure when it comes to this. See, the mass extinction events were a pretty common thing throughout history. Today we know at least about 5 of them, with the last one happening around 65.5 million years ago in an event that wiped out the dinosaurs, for example. The deadly blow came from an asteroid that was bigger than the Mount Everest. Many animals die as an immediate result of an impact, while the dust in the atmosphere caused over a decade of winter that sealed the fate of many species on Earth at the time. Now, it may seem like something that happened long time ago, but the possibility of it repeating is pretty real. Due to the sophisticated technology, space agencies around the world are able to track many potential threats through space, thus we are probably safe for another century or so. But beyond that, who knows, maybe there is something heading our way as we speak. Another possibility is something that we can relate much closer, especially after the last 4 years or so. We all remember empty city streets, people wearing masks and spending days, months, and eventually years trying to distance ourselves in order to curb the spread of COVID. This pandemic caused hundreds of thousands of families to lose their loved ones, and it's completely changed the lives of others almost in a blink of an eye. This, however, is nothing compared to some other pandemics from the history, such as the plague that took the lives of more than 100 million people in a matter of few years. The way we travel and do business today enables us to be a perfect carriers for many viruses and bacteria, thus making the prospect of localization and isolation virtually impossible. Needless to say, this is a very likely scenario that will certainly repeat itself at some point, probably in our lifetime. The last scenario is also the one that we are very familiar with, and that is global war. We all learn in school about the devastation brought upon humans by other humans for reasons of domination or fighting for resources. Both world wars took the lives of tens of millions of people in a short span of time. Many survived only to perish due to illness and famine caused directly by war. Today, the development of nuclear weapons makes this scenario far more scarier. The ability to completely wipe out the entire multi-million city with a bomb not bigger than a family SUV is the one that brings chills down your spine. Clearly, this one is entirely on us, so you may say that it is the easiest one to be prevented. However, us being humans means that we are inherently flawed and that we cannot be trusted to learn from our mistakes every time and not repeat them. Now, when we look at all these possibilities, it is quite clear that the end of the world as we know it is quite possible. Now, whether it's going to happen in your or my lifetime, that remains to be seen. So that brings us to the end of another video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I definitely did when I did the research. It's definitely a scary notion. We don't think about that much, probably a little bit more after what we've been through for the last 4 or 5 years. But anyways, what do you think about this? Just leave a comment down below and then we can talk about that a little bit more. Till then, you can watch some of my other videos. I also have a link to my Patreon account. It's going to be down in the pinned comment and the description. So if you think you can support me that way, just go ahead and do that. I'll appreciate that. You can also consider liking and subscribing to this channel. I try to post one short video every single day, and usually on Wednesdays, I'm going to do one of these longer videos on various topics. In any case, thank you very much. I will see you on the next one. And till then, stay safe.